we had so many meals together. We had all these one-on-one, but being an Italian man, what was his favorite meal? Pasta. What kind of pasta? Spaghetti à la napolitaine. That's it. That was his meal. That became our weekly thing. We'd go out. There was this very nice Italian restaurant that unfortunately I can't remember the name, and I apologize for that. But it was downstairs, and we had to go through. It was on Sherbrooke Street in Montreal, and we had to go downstairs. And storm, no storm, winter storm, no winter storm, huge, des gros bas de neige, I would say in French. And we walked in, and it was like I didn't know where I was going. I never knew about this restaurant, but you went through a coffee shop, and then they used to sell these nice Italian chocolates. And then in the back, there'd be a little place. And voila, here you were, best Italian restaurant in town, to Dr. B, of course. Um, and then one day, I'll tell you a small story. One day, Mr. Beer says to me, says, Natalie, um, Dr. B, Gus wants to go to Italy. And I said, okay, good for him. Enjoy. He says, no. He says, we can't let him travel by himself anymore. You know that. I said, yes, because, he was starting to have trouble walking very, very long distance. So he says, but I can't take him and bring him back. So I had never been to Europe, and Mr. Beer approached me, and he says, okay, I have to do something with you. So he says, I'm going to bring him to Italy, but I'll just drop him off to his family. His sister and his cousin were there, and they had a nice villa, I would say, in English. And Mr. Beer would just fly right back to Germany because he used to go multiple times. But I was sent. Mr. Beer, they paid they took care of me like I've never been taken care of before. And I ended up in Italy. I believe the town was in Turin. I don't remember all the little street names, but I remember Dr. B was there with a chauffeur because he couldn't drive much then. We didn't like for him to drive simply because his legs were too weak. And then here we are in Italy. So we're driving around, and I think a lot of people have stated this to you already, but he loved eating, and he loved his Italian red wine. So what does he want to do? He wants to take me out. But he's not allowed to drive, and here he is insisting and fighting with all of us to drive. So he's driving, and we're driving through mountains, and I'll show you some pictures. I'll share some pictures with the company that I scanned my trip. And there's a picture that you'll see him, he's lying on his back and right beside the villa. And I was with his sister and his cousin, and we were chatting about, what time we were to leave to the restaurant, and he just wanted to be left in peace. So we would respect him like that. And then we went to this restaurant, and, I'm expecting a city restaurant. I'm not expecting a villageois restaurant. It was, I got there, I'll show you pictures also. I arrived there, I can't even remember the name of it. I arrived there, and here they are. Some plastic chairs were sitting outside by the pond, and he's like, okay, I want this fish. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? He says, no. So the waiter came, and he insisted on this specific fish. So the guy had to go in the pond, and they collected the fish, and he was asking me what type of fish. I'm like, just whatever which one you want. I'm not here to be difficult. I'm here to have a meal with Dr. B. And away they went, live fish being cooked in the back. And so we ended up there, I think 3-4 hours sitting down, chatting about the life in Italy and how it was, and the great memories he had that I was privileged to hear. And just great times with he was a gentleman. I mean, people who, there was two sides of him. There was the, you know, the scientist side, the Einstein. You know, some mornings he'd get up and his hair would be all like wild. And then we'd had to prepare him to again, take him out. So I'm not sure the sequence of the pictures that you're going to see, but at the end of this legacy, there'll be a few pictures that you may recognize. Some of us, most of us have aged beautifully due to the Immunocal product that we take daily. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you. So that was obviously in Italy when he was resting in his backyard between the mansions. This is when we were driving through because it was more in the north in Italy. This was the little restaurants he liked. And this was the pond where the waiter had to fish the fish. And that was him all happy and always wearing the same clothes, like always wearing the same clothes. Your typical Italian older gentleman, right? This was the drive-through when we got to the restaurant. This is when we took him out. That was John when he was young. And him being all proud because right on his right side, that was Lena. And on the left, that was me when I was younger. That was Dr. Jimmy Gutman. That was us preparing him. And when I say us, it was Lena, myself, and or Suzanne. Those three women always making sure that, you know, he looked like $1,000 man. And that was when we were in, my God, Fairmount, I think, in Vancouver, where we had one of our conventions. But not sure exactly, but it's one of our conventions, and it's the Indonesian group. That was one of the Christmas parties towards the end when he was getting a lot tired. That's the guest house. And he loved staying in the guest house. And I was in the bigger house